So, this is your main man Choi Boule again with an update. And well, I can zoom in on the chart. Yesterday we had some very interesting price action. This one huge candle, I think it was the largest daily percentage candle since a long time, 12.8%. And I think that also initiated a big run up. And to be honest, this candle caught me quite off guard. And also I was reviewing, I'm not really thinking I'm not really sure how to read this price action. Also seeing the situation on altcoins, especially against the Bitcoin chart. So normally I have all my lines and levels drawn out, but I was thinking let's just all erase them and start fresh and see if a fresh start, which always helps, also gives me some new information on where this is going, because crypto Twitter is always very extreme on both ends, both bear and bull. And well, of course you should not get your information from crypto Twitter, nor should you get it from YouTube, so enjoy watching the video. But of course sometimes if you find somebody that can do a rather objective and rational analysis, it might help. Just for your information, the sources that I use are Trader SC, Trader XO, and Cred for his educational materials. That always helps. These guys keep it simple and sane and just focus on the charts, which also is my preferred way of doing. So let's just start. And when I start all over, then I generally take the yearly chart. And then of course on Binance you don't see much, but I just draw out the yearly opens, which have been this one. So I'll just give them a separate color, not too, just give them this, maybe this yellow works, make it dotted, and I'll do the same here. Not sure if this works out, but we'll see. Okay, that definitely doesn't work out. Let's make it a bit orange. And these also generally are quite relevant levels. Why is it important? Of course, we have had the all-time high last year, and now price is hovering at least in between these levels, this body candle. So you might assume that either liquidity wants to go here, this wick first, or wants to hit this wick first again, or the yearly low of, let's say, the yearly open of previous year. Okay, so let's go to the quarterly charts. Okay, so now we get a little bit more information, and what do we see? Okay, liquidity generally, then you just look back on the wicks, is here first, here, and here, of course, all-time high. But we also see that the yearly open of, was it here? The yearly open of 2021 was also touched twice in that period before pumping to the new all-time high again. So I also see that now this seems like a big range where price is moving in. So for me this is a relevant level. So I'll make them bigger, and I'll move to I'll give them monthly lines. Let's see, is the yellow one still there? I'll delete it because it has no additional value. Now it has a key value for me, and I will mark out this level. So for me it seems that price is hovering in between these lines. So the open here, wick to get liquidity, drop up, move up to get this liquidity, and go down again. Okay, so when I go to the monthly, things are starting to play out a little bit more. You can also place it here, but this actually think it's a beautiful level. This one I will remain as is, and you can see here the yearly open of this year. Price moved up to this level. This was the level made. It closed a lot lower, wicked above, closed at this level. So yeah, you can decide whether to keep it here. I'll keep it here. Closed at the level, tried another attempt and succeeded at all-time high. Enormous wick down, closed just below, wicked into that level, sell off to the bottom. Touch, touch, over 3 months almost. This was quite a period. And then moving up again, closing above, but then the next month closing down. So then I can assume, or at least seeing inside knowledge, this is my deviation. And what do you see? Closes below, retest this level, sell off. So for me, these are the levels that I can work from. Doesn't make any sense here to get my 50%, my mid-level. I'll just put it here for the time being. I'll dash it, so I'll dot it. I know it's the mid-level of the range. Not so much interaction here. Going up, support, up, touch, closed higher, level down. Okay, so let's have a look to the weekly. Okay, so a few things. This level nicely. Deviation, close under, open, deviation under, retest, 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 sell off, firm level, above, support, wick below, close, wick below, wicket. Next week, touch it one more time, sell off to this level. And I think, I'm not sure if I can draw a really strict level, but maybe a zone would be better. To see this zone, because I actually think it consists out of 2 levels for me. Let's say, so this is interesting for me. So this was the first high, sell off to this level, broke it, retested it but a little bit higher, retested it again, sold off, retest on the lower end, resistance, sell off again, retest, break, close above, resistance, flip support, 1 touch, 2 touch, 3 touch, wick below, deviation, deviation, last weekly move down before reaching new all-time high, 1 wick, consolidation, redistribution, sell off, support, last move up to the last low. So for me this is a relevant level, and I think if I should fine tune it, okay, let's get that. I'm going to work from this level, this weekly level, this bottom, because it also nice encapsulates this last move up, this bearish block moving up. So I'm going to delete this, move the coordinates a bit further, down to 1. So for me this is quite a key level, mostly on the 50% of the range, support, breakdown. Okay, so for me there are a few things happening. So everyone is bullish. Okay, this is beautiful price action, almost same like what has happened here, but then a lot quicker, because this was a much longer period of consolidation or accumulation. And what you can see here is that we have the first big level of resistance. So it was 1, 2, 3, 4 touches, a bit of consolidation, sell off, and now it's retesting again. Okay, so if we don't break this, then my thesis would be that it's safe to assume maybe we wick it, go below, retest, sell off. First to this level, and then the lows again, because this is where the liquidity is. So that's the bear scenario. if we close above firmly, good volume, and then we hoover a bit or we have a strong reaction and then move up again, then we have a break in market structure. Definitely on the weekly, because then it would be our first higher high on the weekly and also on the daily chart. If you have watched it, the BTC cycles video, I also mentioned that technically and of course it needs a little bit of creativity, you could still consider this on a monthly chart. You could consider this a higher low. So we have a, let's say starting from here, higher high, higher low, higher high, more or less similar low, another higher high, and now we have another higher low. So then you can, on that thesis, you could maybe draw a channel, whatever. On a daily basis, of course, this works differently, because then the daily market structure was already broken here, signaling a retest would be bearish. Same happened over here. So back to this chart. This is the yearly open. So, and this also is confluent with this move up, which actually is quite a large range of price action. So this would be a rough, could I draw it back to one single level, then this level would be it, I think. Support, breakdown, retest, deviation below, retest, retest, once above, never look back, support. This is quite some price action before moving down. So this could be, let's say, the center of the level, and this, the entire block, is, well, crypto Twitter discussion space. So if we don't break this, then I can safely assume that the bears are still in control. Based on these daily candles, you could even mark out this level, and most likely, if it is truly bearish, I'm going to delete it, then you can safely assume that they want you to think that we are full bull and break this level. But then most likely you will see a wick close below and then a retest back to the level. If we're going to break, I don't know what the price action will be, of course, from here, but if we break like this and then move down, and it takes a few days or a couple of days, then actually you might assume that this entire area is supposed to hold as support. Many will front run, but if you will have, let's say, price crawling up to this level, making a wick closing below, and then just rolling over, I think this is nice to see when you have rolling over price action, or here. It hits the level and it starts rolling over. If you look on the lower time frame, you see the same happening here. And this is also nice, right? Hitting that level, getting liquidity, dropping, consolidating, another grab for liquidity, but overall price is just rolling over. So if you see price action like that next to a key level, then it's always important to be aware that this could happen. But this is quite, shaky price action, and maybe we hit the yearly open. That's very much possible. But until then, I'm still, I think, 75% in stables, the rest in Bitcoin, with a few shitcoin bags. And I'll be happily waiting to see what happens. But overall, this looks promising, and I'm very curious. The overall Dow trend, of course, is now broken. So that means we can finally let go. That was this one. See if I can just make it a little bit clearer. So this one is broken, so please delete it. Diagonals, I think, have lesser weight than horizontal levels. So I'm very curious what will happen, and I use some indicators, but this one I think was nice. This is the 4-hour moving average, 200 moving average. And I think I took it from Crypto Krillin, I think it was. LSD in my coffee is his handle on Twitter. So I generally use the MA100 and the MA200, but I think the MA200 on the 4-hour has been a really nice indicator of price action moving forward. So this is interesting to see how it closes. There has been a few fake outs, but overall the line is quite indicative of price action. If it's below, short makes sense. If it's above, then longs make sense. So yeah, let's see how it moves from here. So too long didn't listen. If we cannot break, have a, let's say, a decisive break above this level, especially above this key level, then most likely bears are still in control. And if we do get a good break, then I'll definitely consider moving my stables into Bitcoin. What could happen then? That's always a good question. I think then the next liquidity to grab, so the first liquidity to grab is this one. And then the next liquidity is here. This is where next stops would be resting. Of course here as well, but this is, let's say, in the middle of an obvious level. We shouldn't rule out, but it depends on the price action. And after that, yeah, this is the main key level, but I'm not sure if we can get there. If we do break this level, then I think it's just all-time high again. The level here did not have much of a resistance, so I'm not sure if it will hold much here as well. Generally I place fibs. And I always look for what are reasonable retracements level. So the OTE. See if I can clear out some lines. So this is interesting. So the 0.5, let's say 50% retracement from this low to all-time high, that would be at the top of this level. In general, a rule of thumb, but of course not written in stone, means that if you have a retracement up to the 0.5, then continuation of the trend is the highest probability trade. So in this case it would mean that since we have a downtrend, we retrace up to the 0.5 and then we retrace further. It can even go as far as the 6.2, but then, yep, we'll see. So this is it for now, and let's see how things will develop over the next few days.